Isn't it fascinating how the world is crisscrossed with organizations, some ancient, some modern, all with their own unique purposes? Take the Commonwealth of Nations, for instance. It's a rather wonderful and sprawling family of 56 independent countries, a voluntary association that includes vast nations like India and Canada alongside smaller island states. Many of these countries are republics, which means they are led by presidents who serve as their heads of state. This diverse group is symbolically united under King Charles III, who holds the rather gentle and non-political title of Head of the Commonwealth. It's a club based on shared history, language and values, a testament to cooperation on a global scale. Then, on the other hand, we have an entity that sounds like it stepped straight out of a medieval epic, the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. It is, quite remarkably, one of the oldest institutions of Western and Christian civilization. Founded in Jerusalem around the 11th century, it began as a community of monks running a hospital to care for pilgrims of any faith. Today, it remains a sovereign entity under international law, a bit like a country without land. And it is a major global humanitarian force. It maintains diplomatic relations with over 100 states and the European Union, a testament to its unique and respected status on the world stage. Now one might naturally wonder, with these two significant global players, the presidents of the Commonwealth republics and this ancient humanitarian order, is there some sort of formal established relationship? Do they have regular meetings or signed charters that bind them together in their work? It's a perfectly reasonable question to ask. After all, both are deeply involved in the welfare of people across the globe. You have heads of state responsible for their citizens, and a venerable order dedicated to serving the sick and the poor. One might assume a secret handshake or an official channel must exist between them. The truth, as is so often the case with these grand historical tapestries, is a little more nuanced and in its own way far more interesting than a simple yes or no. The connection isn't one of rigid structure or formal treaties that apply to the entire Commonwealth as a bloc. Instead, it's a story woven from individual acts of recognition, practical à la carte partnerships driven by necessity, and recent diplomatic developments that hint at a future of even closer collaboration. It's less of a formal marriage and more of a series of important, respectful acquaintances that spring up when help is needed most. Let us be perfectly clear from the outset to avoid any confusion. There is no official, institutional or structural link that formally connects the presidents of Commonwealth countries as a collective body to the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. You won't find a Commonwealth Malta Treaty or a designated seat for the order at Commonwealth heads of government meetings. The Commonwealth structure, with King Charles III as its symbolic head and its Secretariat managing intergovernmental cooperation, operates entirely independently of the Order of Malta's own sovereign governance. It's like having two very distinguished and busy neighbours who live on the same street but don't have a formal neighbourhood association they both must belong to. This separation makes complete sense when you consider their distinct natures. The Commonwealth is a political association of sovereign states, many of which are secular republics with diverse populations and faiths. Its presidents are elected or appointed leaders responsible for the governance of their nations. The Order of Malta, while a sovereign entity in international law, is fundamentally a Catholic lay religious order. Its mission is humanitarian, driven by the motto Tuitio Fidei et Obsequium Pauperum, which means nourishing, witnessing and protecting the faith and serving the poor and the sick. Its sovereignty allows it to operate neutrally in conflict zones, a status that a formal tie to a political bloc like the Commonwealth might complicate. Think of it this way: the presidents within the Commonwealth are primarily concerned with the political, economic and social well-being of their specific countries. Their international relations are managed through traditional diplomacy with other nations. The Order of Malta, however, functions as a global, non-governmental organization, albeit one with the unique diplomatic privileges of a state. It focuses on delivering medical aid, running hospitals and care homes, and responding to natural disasters and crises. A formal, all-encompassing relationship just doesn't fit the operational model of either organization. Therefore, the idea of a standing committee of Commonwealth Presidents and Knights of Malta is simply a non-starter. The mechanisms just aren't there, and more importantly, the fundamental purpose for such a structure doesn't exist. The relationship, where it does exist, is far more organic and practical. It emerges not from overarching treaties, but from on-the-ground necessity, individual merit, and specific agreements made between the Order and individual nations, some of which just happen to be members of the Commonwealth. This distinction is crucial to understanding how they can and do work together effectively without being formally tethered. While there's no grand institutional alliance, the connections are far from non-existent. They simply manifest in more specific and personal ways. A truly significant development occurred on October 9, 2024, when the United Kingdom, a cornerstone of the Commonwealth, signed a landmark agreement with the Order of Malta. This Memorandum of Understanding formally established diplomatic relations, creating an official channel for cooperation on everything from humanitarian aid and disaster response to global health initiatives. This is a very big deal. It formalizes the ad hoc partnerships of the past and creates a structured dialogue, potentially serving as a wonderful model for other Commonwealth nations to follow. Beyond these state-level agreements, the Order of Malta often recognizes remarkable individuals for their contributions to humanity, and many of these heroes are citizens of Commonwealth countries. The Order has a special award, the Cross of Merit Pro Merito Melitensi, which it bestows upon people who are not members of the Order but have demonstrated exceptional humanitarian service or extraordinary bravery. A poignant example is Joanne Sainsbury, a UK citizen who received this honour in 2023 for her incredible courage during the London Bridge attack in 2017. This form of recognition builds a bridge of mutual respect, honouring the values the Order holds dear wherever they may be found. These awards are not just symbolic gestures, they are a powerful way of highlighting a shared commitment to human dignity. When a president of a Commonwealth republic sees one of their citizens honoured by such an ancient and respected humanitarian order, it fosters immense goodwill. It sends a message that the values of compassion and service transcend national borders and religious affiliations. It's a form of soft diplomacy, building relationships based not on political maneuvering, but on a mutual appreciation for the best of human nature. This is often how the strongest and most enduring international friendships begin. The new UK Order of Malta Agreement exemplifies this evolving relationship. It shows that even without a blanket Commonwealth policy, individual member states can and do see the immense value in formalising their partnership with the Order. This diplomatic framework allows for more efficient collaboration, enabling the Order's medical teams and aid workers to coordinate more effectively with government agencies during a crisis. As other Commonwealth nations, particularly those with presidents at their helm, observe the benefits of this arrangement, it's quite possible we will see more such agreements being signed in the coming years. So, where does the real connection lie? It lies in the field, in the dusty roads of a disaster zone, in the quiet corridors of a care home, and in the urgent negotiations to get aid to those trapped by conflict. The Order of Malta operates in over 120 countries, many of which are Commonwealth members. To do its work effectively, the Order must cooperate closely with the governments of these nations. This often means working directly with the offices of presidents and prime ministers to secure access, coordinate logistics, and ensure the safety of both aid workers and recipients. For example, if a Commonwealth nation in the Caribbean is struck by a hurricane, the Order of Malta's International Relief Agency, Malteser International, would likely be among the first responders. To deploy their teams and supplies, they would need the permission and support of that country's government, led by its president or prime minister. The president's administration would help clear aid shipments through customs, provide security escorts, and identify the areas of greatest need. This is not a relationship based on a treaty, but on a practical, life-saving partnership born of urgent necessity. The president wants to help their people, and the Order has the means to do it. This on-the-ground cooperation is the true heart of the relationship. It is where the theoretical gives way to the practical. The Order's long history of neutrality and its purely humanitarian focus make it an ideal partner for governments of all stripes. Presidents of Commonwealth republics can trust that the Order's only agenda is to alleviate suffering. This trust is the bedrock of their collaboration, allowing them to work together seamlessly when disaster strikes, whether it's a famine in a part of Africa or a public health crisis in Asia. It's a partnership defined by action, not by paperwork. Ultimately, this cooperation is profoundly important because it saves lives and upholds human dignity. In a world often fractured by political division, the partnership between a sovereign state, represented by its president, and a neutral humanitarian entity, like the Order of Malta, is a beacon of hope. It demonstrates that it is possible to set aside differences to focus on a shared goal, helping those in need. While there may be no formal institutional link between all Commonwealth Presidents and the Knights of Malta, their shared work in the service of humanity forges a connection that is far more powerful and meaningful.